All right. Welcome in, everybody, to the Friday edition of Daily Bread, coming at you live right at 10:15 on the East Coast. Perfect time to be locking in for the fifth straight day of this beautiful week of action throughout the day. And you could even start it earlier since we had two World Cup matches already going on. So, perfect day to be just chilling out. If you're at work, that's a big ass bummer, but at least we got some winners to get you through the day. And Sosa put the team on his back since I went 2-3 in the college hoops plays yesterday, but on the NFL, he went crazy again. So we hope you gave all your aunts and uncles those winners and told them to sub because they're just going to be blowing up your phone for what today's plays are. And it's all powered by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Be sure to be tapping in with them. Also, live on Twitter, hit the link up on the title if you want to be featured in today's show, or when Sosa's late, we can put up here in the comments where
I was serving winners and the family yesterday.
I was telling them Nova's got no
10
shot to
minutes.
bounce back today because that team sucks.
Absolutely.
We had Jackson State, Indiana talk going on as well. So always a good time to be in that YouTube channel so we can be chopping it up, like, retweet, follow, sub. But Sosa, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Richarlison took care of business yesterday, didn't he? My guy,
Richard Leeson.
Richarlison. Listen, I've heard someone say his name like that. Don't mind me.
I just did a double take. That was the only reason why. It's the only time. Usually a little bit of the fuck ups, they're nothing, but I was just like, that sounds like a completely different dude.
I mean, you did come through for us yesterday with DJ Chark plus 500. Isaiah McKenzie scored. Josh Allen scored. Yeah.
It's just when you lose three straight to start the college hoops days and then get two at the end, one from a buzzer beater to only lose a unit and some change. Not a terrible day because the Chark sprinkle basically makes it up, but Chark was just a sprinkle 2 and 3.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
There we go, Cam. I knew everyone didn't hear it. Yeah. Richard Leeson sounds like he plays for Wales on the back line.
Listen, man. Listen. It was a Portuguese bull that showed me his name. I don't want to hear it. He said it like that, so I said it like him.
Any big takeaways from yesterday?
Cristiano Ronaldo was better than everybody that plays for Manchester United. Y'all wanted to do all of this, and he shut all y'all up. Portugal winning was no surprise. Brazil game went exactly how I said.
Captain Kirk
getting business done on prime time. I will say this, though. It's very shocking to me that Minnesota was able to pull that game out, given that they didn't run the ball particularly well. They're the first team to beat New England this year and not run the ball well. That stood out to me a lot because, based on how Bill plays defense or how he deploys his defense, they ran a lot of hard double teams at Jefferson, but they still played man coverage in all the big downs. And he was able to get the ball to Jefferson or Thielen in man coverage. Every single time they scored, every big throw that they made was all in man coverage. Every single one. So Bill did not deter.
Mac Jones looked pretty good.
He played pretty right. He played pretty well. But I mean, is that him or is that an indictment on how this Minnesota's defense has played against teams that are in the AFC East?
I don't know. Ever since Mac had that 3-game struggle in his sophomore season, kind of got to give him his credit. Even though against the Jets defense, he hasn't looked stellar in those 2 games. He's getting back to showing off his arm strength a little bit, which was one of the bigger doubts, I guess, or accuracy with the arm strength, the combination of the two. But maybe he can become a little bit more than the game manager because last night showed a little bit, but
I mean, he
read the
offense or the defense pretty well, delivered the ball on time, and his receivers made some plays for him. Aguilar made a big play. Obviously, Jacoby Myers made a big play to start the game, got hurt, came back late, didn't really do much. Hunter Henry should have had 2 touchdowns, only had 1. And another thing, obviously, is that New England really they made a couple of really untimely penalties, just bad, which is very odd from a Bill Belichick coach team. The discipline stuff is usually not the issue. And I think that played a big part in the demise of the team last night is the fact that the penalties at the wrong time. You can get a penalty here and there, but to set you behind the chains or to cost you a touchdown, you don't usually see that from Belichick coach teams. That was a bit strange, no lie. After Nelson, I feel you should have got that.
So we appreciate our subs. We
Hey,
don't
man,
only
listen,
just
as
say
long
we're
as the bet-
thankful for you guys yesterday. We appreciate you each day. That's why we got the #1 subs out there, always bringing the heat, always bringing the fire. Yeah, come on, get them, Dougie, get them.
Listen, I don't care how he did it. I told you he would score on a penalty, and I knew
Messi
he
scored on the penalty.
As long as the bet catches, I don't care.
Messi scored on the penalty.
Yeah, but his team lost to his boss's kids. But we'll talk about that some other day. What's on that kid?
Sosa, you were tweeting about him last night.
I was talking about him prior to the season. His development from his last year in high school to now, Brandon Miller, bro, right now I would list him as the third prospect. I didn't know the jump shot was like that, but the pull-up three and the three off the dribble he got it. He got a full offensive bag, and he's already a freak athlete. Brandon Miller is going to be a top 5 pick. As long as he stays healthy, nothing happens to him. He is one of them guys, man. Very impressed by the way he's gotten better from that final year of high school to now. Same with Grady. Grady looks fucking amazing. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Let's get into today's plays. Maybe we'll get to some quick banter at the end if we get enough time. We'll start it off with the World Cup. Then we'll get into college hoops. Wrap it up with the NBA. You got plenty of time to run back Tuesday night's episode of Pay for Play for the college football action. Maybe I'll drop a play or two at the end from that episode or full card. There's only like 2 or 3 plays today since you want to bet Colorado State, New Mexico, go for you. And then Florida State, maybe there's only one angle to attack that game, but let's get to the World Cup since the lineups are out for the Netherlands versus Ecuador. Maybe similar mantras now where locking in bets before all the games happen or before like kickoff may be a little bit more beneficial because teams may deploy some rotation in these matchups here. Both of these teams sit there with 3 points. You see Netherlands maybe sub 1 or 2 usual guys, notably Dembele out of their lineup for today. Maybe they're looking just to play for the draw to get through. I don't think that's the case there with the Netherlands. But Sosa, since you've been running hot with the goal scorers and you nailed Gakpo last time, what do you like here?
I think that this is going to be a game that's, like you said, I don't know how high the motivations are for both teams, seeing that they both won their first matches.
It's going to be high because if you get that A spot, man, the 1 spot's always key, but cagey games, goal differential, potential, that's what comes into these type of games here.
These teams also do what NBA playoff teams do. They monitor what's going on in the group that advances next to them, and they're looking to see who they might have to see in the next round too. So that does play a part. People don't want to admit it, but we both know that's a factor, and especially when in the event you do win the second game. I'm going with the first half draw. It's close to even. You can get it -105. You can get it in a couple other places. I think that's a good case here. Ecuador obviously played against a team in their first match. They completely overmatched them. The talent disparity was absolutely on display, and we saw it again today, right? With who they played today. So for me, I got the first half draw, and I do believe in the second half the game opens up. They both probably score in the second half, but in the first half, I think we get a feel out process for about the first 15, 20 minutes. A couple of chances, but I still think it goes in. I still think it goes into the break, either 0-0 or 1-1. I think it'll be a tie in the first half.
I was about to say, if you want to make that maybe a little bit juicier, I think with what the Netherlands did, they're going to sub the players on right at the hour mark, so they get 30 minutes of run before the last game, where you'll see a little bit more potential rotation here. But if you want to go the draw for the First half, Netherlands full time before the game starts, since that's the only way we bet here. Plus 350. Shop around, you might be able to find some better odds. That takes off the minus 112 potentially there. That's sitting, or minus 120, that's sitting on the Netherlands money line currently here. We've seen with this Ecuador side and what the Netherlands can't afford to do. And it's what, Qatar did in the first game, but that's neither here nor there. Can't foul them, and you can't give them set pieces because that's where they get their deadliest approaches from. Sure, Netherlands may have a size advantage here, but the set pieces that they deploy is the way that they're going to get you in this matchup here. So the both teams to score angle ain't too bad. I think this game probably soars under, especially I like your first half angle. I like the way to make it a little bit juicier in the second half with the Netherlands full-time result.
And then 2 goal scorers. Someone in the comments already said Enter Valencia plus 310, Cody Gakpo plus 250, simply because he took care of business for us the last time he came out. He scored the first goal and was a goal scorer. So when you cash out a plus 230 and a plus 600 to start the week, we become fans of you, and we're going to bet you again. Maybe not the same stake, but we're going to bet you again.
Yeah, I don't think this is a potential hungry dog here just from what we saw with the Netherlands in the first matchup, especially with Van Dijk back. It's a completely different side. I like the way they're rolling. I think they're a team that could make it to the Final Four, especially with the way that the bracket is going to shape up for them.
That's bold. That's a bold take, in my opinion.
Damn, going against your man in the back line. When Van Dijk's healthy, man, and they have it up top, those teams produce results, don't they?
I'm familiar with his generational talent. I'm fully familiar with that now. However, of all the European teams, they're the one that I have the least trust in overall.
Good. That's why I like them the best.
Awesome.
Next game. You have some sharp takes here. Maybe we'll be on the other side here. England versus the United States. You're saying you doubt Harry Kane plays. Southgate, maybe it's a little coaching, like pregame tactics, saying it would be, for a lack of better word, stupid if we held him out for this game or didn't start him. Maybe, like we said, he only gets 60 minutes of run to save him for the game against Wales. But what do you like here with the USA, knowing that if they don't get blown out, dub over Iran, they're potentially through with ease as long as the other results come? You can't really say that because too early to talk about that. That's all Twitter's talking about, though. I think results need to speak for themselves here. What do you like here?
Going the same angle, first half tie. I think the U.S. plays a very conservative brand of football. I think their back line will perform well in the first half. And then in the second half, I just think like that. I feel like that's Greg's approach, man. I think it's give yourself an opportunity at the end. Obviously, untimely penalty in the first match was a good call, though. Can we agree on that?
Yes,
it was the correct
definitely
call.
A good call.
Definitely the correct call. Because people get upset about it, but it was the right call. The Ronaldo penalty yesterday, super soft. That was a bad call. The call for y'all against y'all was the correct call. So I'm taking the first half draw plus 120. I think we see both games kind of play out the same way. I think you see a different level of advancement and aggression in the second half going forward for both teams. And then also when Kane comes out of the match, which they will sub him out, they play with a little bit more pace. We all know he's deadly inside the 10. He's a great finisher. But as far as pace, he's not necessarily like the fastest guy. When they had those young guys come in the second, and I know that their first opponent was very much outmatched, but when those young kids came in the second half, they turned it up. The speed and pace that they were able to play with in the second half. Again, I know the opponent was inferior, but they were outstanding.
Well, all I have to say is this is the style that Greg Ball should pull out a result in, because they're better when they're matched up against a team that's going to possess a little bit more than them. I think they have the potential to hit them on the counter. It just depends what our center backs look like again. You saw in the last matchup what happened. So I'm here if Tim Ream or if Zimmerman both start, because that's where I think we could see the most potential rotation is in our center backs, which makes me a little bit concerned because We're going to be losing some height out there, but I think we can't sub both out. So there, and then in the midfield, what are we going to do? Because I think we have 5 players on yellow cards. Sure, Costa really doesn't matter too much in my opinion, so you might as well start him because if he picks up another, it doesn't matter if he's going to be disqualified. I think Greg can't overthink it here, but you're going to see Pulisic definitely maybe play a little bit more reserve, especially since he's on that yellow. And
Yep.
I don't think he gets to play as much hero ball as he was trying to do last game. I think that was one big thing after going back and watching, the U.S. with Aronson not making and the midfield not making that final line-breaking pass into the final third. I think Pulisic tried to do a little too much on his own shoulders, especially here. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was on my TV limping the whole last 30 minutes of the match, like literally the entire last 30 minutes. So, hopefully he doesn't do that, again.
So you think it goes over 2.5 or under 2.5?
I agree with whatever you do, whatever you pick, because again, I believe that y'all are. I think that y'all are just looking for a result today. I think everyone believes that. Just get it. Just keep it close. Even if you lose, don't get put on the hub. Right? If you lose 1-0. If you lose 2-0 at the worst. Don't go out here and get smoked. I think that's the only approach for this one. I think you agree, right?
Yeah, because with your first half draw angle, that's a plus money way. I mean, you potentially lose the push since the first half total sitting at under 1, but then you could probably lock in a better angle live with the second half play on the over here. But I'm going to take the USA. You don't have to back them on the Asian handicap +1 at even.
I like it.
Think they keep it close. Think it stays 30 +1 even.
Absolutely. If
you think it's a blowout, go for it. Can't be talking you off it here. I just think they keep it close.
If you're going goal scorers, obviously Kane is at -110. I don't know how much you consider that valuable, considering on average outside of Cristiano Ronaldo, the goal scorers we've given out are like +250 at least. So, I mean, Kane is obviously always a good option. I do like the Marcus Rashford option. I mean, I think he performed. He looked like, again, when they decide to play with pace with those young kids, bruh, there's something to behold. It can be a much more exciting brand of football than we've gained to see Southgate accustomed to. It's much more
until Harry fucks it up on the back line.
So Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, couldn't talk you off of either of those guys.
Let's just hope Harry Maguire has one of his key moments today.
John Stones.
We all love those.
What a name.
Do you think, from your perspective, with Wales and USA back-to-back, which one's England more hyped to play, or which one means more to them?
I think they want to beat the United States. Obviously, I think they think that they're more talented than both teams. But I think they're going to get up to really try to smack Wales as opposed to us. If that right?
Definitely.
They hate us like they hate them, right?
Yeah, they don't care. They really do not give a fuck.
Do us a solid.
That's what I was about to say. Scotland, Wales, easy pick over the United States, in my opinion there. It means a lot more to us, but it means nothing to them. You don't like Saka? Nah. Maybe. His speed could definitely give issues, especially in the second half with the tired legs.
Saka to get an assist. He'll get an assist on a goal.
All right, college hoops. Your Citadel plays today.
Yeah, fuck.
They play Ooey Pooey. I don't think you're betting on that game.
Bro, they missed their last 6 shots and lost me on 1 bucket the other night. I'm not betting them until conference play. I know I'll get a couple of 90-point games from them during conference play, but not good off today with them.
Well, we got a lot of big marquee matchups rolling in today. I hope you all had fun trying to figure out who's playing each other in the Phil Knight Invitational versus the Phil Knight Legacy, like all of us had to do yesterday. But you don't got any official plays for today?
I might have one or two. I'm still undecided. I'm gonna listen to you, see if you had any, if we were on the exact same thing before but I know you have,
Dayton.
like, I know you've really dove into the slate, so I'd rather get those plays from you than me, who I'm not gonna lie, I've done minimal research when it comes to college basketball. The World Cup, yes. The NBA, yes. College basketball, I look at maybe 3 or 4 spots in a 50 game slate. I mean, you already know that though.
So we're going to be back in Dayton, laying -2.5 at -110 against BYU. Both teams dropped both games so far. You don't want to go 0-3 in the tournament game. This is the respect game here with BYU. Their offense or their defense has been their Achilles heel because their offense is putting up 70. Sure, some of it's coming up in meaningless times. I think Dayton's defense is going to be able to control it here. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with them losing 2 closer results than what happened to BYU.
What an amazing display of basketball against Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, well, this is where BYU really doesn't try that hard on the defensive end.
That game set the sport back about 10 years.
So did Auburn, Northwestern. Both of those games went under the radar being played.
My God.
So we had our man, nothing but Verde D-pass dropping to Kansas against Tennessee here. Which coach do you want to trust more, Rick Barnes or Bill Self?
Man, listen, Bill might have beat the allegations. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bill beat the allegations. He done got another championship. You can't say anything fugazi about him. They're always top 5. I trust Bill. Unfortunately, it's kind of like when we were waiting for years and years and years for Roy Williams to break through. Roy couldn't win one at Kansas. And then obviously he has like one of the most generational college teams in the history of college basketball win his first championship. And then, the team he won with was amazing. And then he wins the second one. He wins the third one. The allegations are done. Bill Self's allegations are done. The only guy on this show that we definitely hold guilty is Rick Barnes and my man from Auburn, Bruce Pearl. He's on the list right now too. He's on the list.
He's always been on the list because where did he coach before Auburn? Tennessee.
Facts.
Man, our Dons 6-0. This is they had a home and home with Davidson. Last game that they played last season ended like 66-60 in a kind of gross matchup. The Dons are averaging the second most 3-point shots per game so far. Davidson, so far, I don't think they're changing their style that much, but only averaging 21 attempts for them is a little bit lower, more than normal. So sometimes when you have 2 teams that are completely reliant on the 3, that's usually a good under spot. But we're going to ride the roller coaster and the variance here. We're taking the over 145 at -110 here. Once again, fouling time, the late minutes in a pick'em game where this line has flipped from both teams being favored this morning, and it's a 2-point line. Dons are more battle-tested in my opinion so far, so I'm going to take the over 145 instead of backing the hungry dog.
Yes, sir. I love it.
All right, what else? Other big games, Alabama, Connecticut. Let's hear it. Are you back in Bama? Because UConn hit 17 threes and rolled Oregon last night, man. They warned us that they had shooters.
I like the over in if anything in this one. That's probably the only play I was looking for. I'm looking at the over in the game. I think both teams get up and down. We, like you just mentioned, one team shot crazy. Alabama obviously is known for chucking them up as well, playing with pace. I think the over is probably the best play. Maybe even the first half over. I see both teams coming out hot. That gym is small as fuck. That's another reason why they're dropping. Like it's like it's just everything's dropping. Motherfuckers in the step backs, threes off the dribble. Yeah, I like the over.
At 150.
The game will be played in the 80s.
Back Bama here because I always fade the team that hit the 17 threes in the second half. We saw, or not in the second half, but throughout the full game. But I don't know, this UConn team potentially could be a little different. Next game that we got on the slate, We're going against our man. We're going against Shaneen.
Shaheen, no way. What do you
We're
do?
taking OU on the money line, or at least I'm taking OU on the money line at plus 120. After a bank 3 buzzer beater, give me Booner Sooner.
I can't believe
You don't have to rock with them, but
listen, I'm just excited to see, and also the reason why I like the over is that UConn's lowest scoring game last night of the season was last night. They scored 83 points. That's the lowest point total. That's the biggest reason for.
I haven't played anybody before that.
But again, they have a team that can match them pace wise and point wise. That's why I like that's the reasoning behind it. That's the biggest reason I like the number. It's at 149.5. I think both teams get over 75 points. I think it soars over.
Don't hate that one there.
Going against Shaheen, I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Off that buzzer beater, the offense wasn't looking too solid there. I think Oklahoma's defense has the ability in this low pace game, or in this low scoring and potential low pace game, to hold Seton Hall under 65, which I think the Sooners will get the dub then.
Yes, sir.
All right. What was the last play on the board here? A lot of solid games. We're not going to talk all of them here. Memphis, Nebraska ball. Give me the over 138 minus 110 here. I think Memphis is going to dictate the pace. Nebraska always falls into the trap of trying to run with teams, and it never, ever ends well. So that's where maybe Memphis gets us to the 80 mark and their defense holds up enough. I don't think so. I think this is a track meet throughout, over 138 minus 110.
Yes, sir.
2 totals, 1 hungry dog. Let's get to the NBA, and then maybe we'll talk college football real quick at the end.
Yes, sir. I got 3 looks in the NBA that I'm rolling with. First and foremost is going to be the Warriors Jazz game. I'm taking the Warriors -8. Warriors at home. I really don't think I have to say much. I think it's a clean in and out, off of rest, going to their home gymnasium, and I think they lay it on the Jazz. At home, they're a much different team. On the road, they got some stuff to figure out. But at the crib, they've been lights out. The second play I love tonight is in the Minnesota Timberwolves Charlotte Hornets game. And I actually am going to parlay 2 players in the same game to play well. I like Terry Rozier over 21.5. He cashed us out the other night over 19.5. And I like Ant Edwards over 23.5 at plus 113. They're both at plus 113 for that number. If you were to parlay them both, it's at plus 248. So I like both of them to go crazy. I'm also on the same play as D-Pass. Kyrie over 24.5, and I took his 3 prop as well. I like both to go crazy. I think he performs very well against Indiana, and that's really it that I really love to start today. Those are the 3 plays that I really love. I can't really pick anything else yet, because we're going to find out that half the All-Stars that play in the NBA aren't even going to play tonight at around 3:30. So I can't.
Nope, I feel you. That's what we get for going early, but we want to get you for the college, or for the early games, especially World Cup college basketball. But let's talk college football real quick.
Yes,
not a play that was given out on paid play, but after doing more research and digging, give me the Florida State team total over 34 minus 115 here. Florida State is going for the Florida championship here. You saw, and we bet them on the team total against Miami, or the spread against Miami, and they put an ass whooping down of 45-3. Florida's defense, are they not looking solid whatsoever? I think this is another statement game. Florida State, if you told them this is where they're going to end the season at, they'd be more than ecstatic. Put the stamp down, win the Florida State championship for the first time in a little bit. Take their team total over 34 minus 115.
Yes, sir. When are they going to announce that Lane is going to Auburn?
Bro, the Egg Bowl was fucking phenomenal last night. We were telling everybody to watch it. Beer was thrown on the field, going down the shovel pass option it's the Egg Bowl, man. I told you. We just didn't get so imitating a dog and pissing. Shout out Elijah Moore and DK Metcalf. But it's the only thing we didn't get in the Egg Bowl last night. NC State, North Carolina. I like the over 56 here. NC State, who knows who they're going to start at quarterback, but we've seen with North Carolina's defense, it kind of doesn't matter. And I think North Carolina, they're going to go for the most style points possible here just because other than Stroud, who's going to the Heisman race, Sosa, Caleb Williams, and you're on mute.
Yeah, it's him and Caleb's. I think at this
And
point,
then the third spot's completely open for grab for whoever gets the most style points, right?
May
has a shot, I guess. Does he belong there? The quarterback for North Carolina. He has just stupid numbers. He doesn't deserve to be there.
Numbers, but that's the problem when you have a bunch of old nerds that vote on it. They never want to show love to a true freshman. Like Drake is that guy. Yeah. Drake Mays. I think he's in line to win one at some point. I also pray to God that he transfers to like Alabama, or because that would be much more advantageous for him
if he's not hurt. If he's not hurt, I think he's the third spot potentially there. But that's where tomorrow's game's going to determine a lot to see if he makes it or not, in my opinion.
If he goes crazy against Ohio State, I mean, this is his moment, right? So I can't. I'm not opposed to that. Corum's been amazing. He's looked exactly like Mike Hart, and their running styles are identical. They even look the same on tape. So, I think he has definitely a good shot of being.
And then the last and final play for the college football slate, I gave this one out. The same number for the show for the NC State from the Tuesday night show for paid for plays. I'll hop back to that if you want to get Roddy, Sam, Goose's, and JD's plays. I played Tulane on the money line at plus 110 on Tuesday night. It's now sitting at minus 115. I wouldn't pay anything more than minus 125 for it if you're still trying to lock in for it. If you can't get a better number, wait for live. It's a close game. You could probably bet them as a dog live, but I got them at plus 110 to make the New Year 6 Bowl. That's what's on their shoulders.
I think they take care of business for you
against Cincy.
I think
it's a gross trip up, which the guys are saying. New Orleans teams usually don't fare well in cold weather, especially in Ohio.
That's
so
what
I can definitely see that angle. But this team's pumped up; they're at a different level. They know what's at stake. I like them to.
I've been hearing that all week. Louisiana schools when it's under blah blah temperature, they're this and that.
Tulane's a different beast. Let's go, baby.
We shall see. Best of luck on that. But yeah, it's been a great holiday. Hopefully our viewers had a wonderful holiday as well. Lots of food, lots of fun.
Profitable week. So hopefully you can spend it on some Black Friday deals today, if that's what you're about, because that's all we try to do. That's all we try to do is help share the winners, help share the wealth, beat the books together. We appreciate everyone tapping in. Yes, we'll be live tomorrow for Paid for Play, since on the Tuesday night episode, we didn't talk any of the Saturday games, so we will be live Sunday. You already know, Sunday morning quarterbacks coming at you live. So full week. We're back in our normal groove, Sosa. It's been a while. We've been punching the clock and taking one day off here and there, but this week, I think we're finally back into our full action.
We're locked in every single day. It's about that time. And we knew it was coming too with the World Cup and just having so many options at this point, right? Like college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, World Cup. I mean, it's the only thing missing is hockey. I mean, the only thing we haven't touched there.
No hockey play today? Big board.
I got Nair, not a hockey pick, because I'm just going to look at the sports book and say the Flyers. Like I have the first 5 times.
Don't do it anymore, man. They're all hurt. They're all banged up. I denied going to the Penguins game today against them because I didn't want to see that in person.
Yeah, he's like, I'll just rather sit at the crib alone and watch the Team USA.
Nah, man, I'm going down the shore to watch USA.
Oh yeah, the Jersey Shore. Enjoy. Hope the weather outlooks.
I mean, I'm not going to be watching at the beach. The dude just lives at the Jersey Shore. Till tomorrow, we out.
Please.
Sitting on the fucking beach.